The Shabbos Sandwich. What's the most important thing in a sandwich? Is it the two slices of bread? Or is it the middle, the 6 slices of meat in the middle of the sandwich? What constitutes a sandwich? This is the whole concept of Shabbat. Quite frankly, you can't have Shabbat without the 6 days in between the two Shabbatai. There are two different concepts of Shabbat. The Shabbat we just left and the Shabbat we're coming to. You can't have Shabbat without these 6 work days in between. The original consciousness of Shabbat is, do we have the 6 days and then the Shabbat? Or do we have the Shabbat and then the 6 days? So this constitutes that there are 2 sides that I'll call the challah, the bread of the Shabbat, and that you must have the 6 days in between. We know that this is so because there are 2 Shabbats that make up 1 week. It's also echoed in the idea of Zakro v'Shomer v'Divrei in Divrei Echad, that you have to have the keeping and the remembering. And so we worry now how to spend these 6 work days in between. Is this not the point of Shabbat? To give us the 6 days in between. And that's why I call it a Shabbat sandwich. The important days are the days in between. Now, why is this so? And this leads us on to my next comment. It says in Kabbalah that after the first 3 days of creation, there was supposed to be a Shabbat, but our vessels here weren't strong enough to handle the enormous energy of Shabbat. And so there was no Shabbat itself. This is a strange comment because this concept of the after the 3rd day, the beginning of the 4th day, is not echoed in any of our observances. It's on a level too high to be echoed, to be observed in the physical domains. After that non-issuance of Shabbat, we go through 2 levels of the 8 kings that died, and then another level of that, and those are the 2 bookends of Shabbat which the 6 days occur in. And so that, where is the original kind of 3rd concept of Shabbat? Where is the first level of Shabbat? The energy that should have been after the 3 days of creation. And this is a beautiful few minutes you're going to hear. In halacha, you don't have to do Havdalah until Tuesday night, until after the 3rd day of the week. Then you can do a Havdalah until then. In a certain sense, after that, that's the end of the Shomer of Shabbos of the previous week, and then you Zachor the next Shabbos. There's a gap here. This gap between the last Shomer and the Zachor is the Vav of Zachor Vashomer. This gap here is the highest level, and that's where the Yehida of the additional soul actually finds its initiation of manifestation, because in Kabbalah they stress that what comes in on the fourth day of the week is the nefesh of the additional soul. On the fifth day of the week comes in the ruach. The sixth day of the week comes in the neshama. The seventh day of the week, the Shabbos comes in the chaya. And then those are the four levels of the additional soul, because the Yehida can only be expressed through these Dalat Amos, the three of the body and the one, the Chaya of the arm, the Neshama, which comes in on Shabbos. That stays for only Shabbos and then leaves on Saturday night. That's why the normative time for Havdalah is Saturday night, when the Neshama to the Neshama or the Chaya leaves. But there are three elements, three aspects of this additional soul that still remain in you. The nefesh leaves on Sunday night. The ruach leaves on Monday night. And the neshama leaves on Sunday night. The ruach leaves on Monday night. And the nefesh leaves on Tuesday night. That nefesh leaves on Tuesday night, and immediately when that nefesh leaves, the division between Tuesday night and Wednesday, it enters even Ben Hashamashot, it enters the additional soul for the next week, which in a certain sense is the same additional soul. So when the nefesh leaves of the additional soul, the nefesh comes in of the additional soul. What is this additional soul? It's thought to be another soul, but it's also thought to be the Yahida, which expresses itself in these four garments of the soul. So we'll always have this additional soul within us, at least at the nefesh level. It's always there, because in the next breath, after the last blowing out, the coming in, last week's nefesh went out, this week's nefesh comes in. We're always, with the additional soul, we always have either two souls, or the fullest aspect of the Yehida, almost as a second soul. So far removed that Yehida is part of God. the godly soul. This is a beautiful concept, that the original Shabbos is there. So we really have 3 Shabboses, not 2. We have the Shabbos of the last week, Shabbos of the next week, and in between, after the 3rd day, after the 3, and when it goes out, the 4 comes in, which is shown on the tefillin, between the 3-pronged shin and the 4-pronged shin. The 3 and the 4 equals 7. The 7 straps of the tefillin, 3 and then a small gap and then a 4. All 7s. The gap in the mochim and the emotions, the 3 and the 7 in the tree of life. This is so high, so beautiful. That there are 3 Shabbats. The 2 that we feel and the original Shabbat. Yes, we have 2 souls, but tell me how you feel them. Each person has to bring this down from his intellectual plane into his body. This is a body knowledge. But the concept here is to understand how after the 3rd day, when the second soul, the additional soul leaves, immediately the additional soul enters. And this happens in the blink of an eye between days 3 and 4. And it happens every week.